2024 comes to an end, and with that comes to the end of the WWE Raw ratings on the USA Network. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. 2024 is over. We're into 2025, so we thought we'd go out with a bang. We'd go out with not just one set of ratings, not even two set of ratings, but we've got three sets of ratings here from the final three shows of 2024. So I've got SmackDown, Raw, NXT. It's a SmackDown versus Raw. I know in the game they used to throw an ECW in there, but we're not going to feature NXT because they don't deserve featured here. So, Raw now moving to Netflix. Not quite sure how the ratings are going to work on Netflix. I know they've got their whole top 10 shows that are being watched every week. Is that something that Raw might appear on? I mean, potentially, maybe. I don't think it will. I don't think there'll be enough people watching it on Netflix for Raw to be in the top 10.
I've heard Meltzer humming and hawing about, they'll base it off subscribers. I don't know how you do that. I mean, how do you base it off subscribers?
Yeah, it's not like you're subscribing specifically to Raw and you're subscribing to Netflix. So
maybe, we literally did a deep dive. Check out the video. It's performing well, guys. Thank you so much. But it's like, there is no specific WWE category. It's not even like they could add up all the viewers that WWE get in a week and then just give you that. But then that would be a very inflated figure, wouldn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's not going to be that. It will just be... I don't think if you watch SummerSlam and then you watch WrestleMania, that's not going to count as two votes together. That's going to count as like two separate shows that are being watched.
Yeah.
Because that's the way Netflix have set it up. So,
but when you see like Squid Game, Squid Game season 2 is the most watched ever show on Netflix, then is Raw going to do that? I doubt it, but I think with this premiere show, we are definitely going to see some form of rating. Like, something's going to, like, they will reveal how it performed in some capacity.
Yeah, now, Brandon from WrestleNomics, he said that the ratings will continue, don't worry. There will be some form of ratings. Although, he's not really delivered many ratings over the past 2 weeks, but it is the holidays, so, we'll cut him some slack.
Yeah, I'll cut him some slack, despite the fact that I've been here working my nails to the bone.
Aye, so if you guys have wondered where the ratings have been, it's not our fault. I mean, if we don't, we pay for the ratings, but if we're not provided with them, then we can't really deliver them to you guys.
If you can't deliver the ratings because of the Christmas period, then maybe we shouldn't deliver our money because of the Christmas period.
Nah, we're festive, man. WrestleNomics has got our money in December.
Like Festus, to be honest, but anyway.
Ring that damn bell. Anyway, let's get into it. We'll start with SmackDown, December 27th, 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. I believe the last ever 2-hour SmackDown.
Scary.
Ooh. And it got a 1.436 million, which was up 8% from last week. So, this one getting 8% more than the week before. Bit strange.
It is a bit strange, but at the same time, I mean, last week's was just before Christmas. They were both taped, though. Again, big problems for SmackDown when you get tape shows, but maybe there was no competition. I believe there was no was there NFL on?
NFL's never on a Friday.
Is it not? They're not believing it. They're Saturday, Sunday, Monday kind of crew.
Thursday night. Thursday night football.
Aye, can't beat a Thursday night game of football. I ain't that damn right. So
gotta love it.
No excuses for them this week then.
Nah, so SmackDown up 8% from last week. They're up 1% over the last 4 trailing weeks of viewership. The key demo did a 0.41, which was up 11% from last week's 0.37. So we are seeing SmackDown heading up, but they are down 2% over the last trailing 4 weeks when it comes to the key demo. So, it's a bit of a... I mean, it's up, but, I mean, if you look at the graph, you can see that SmackDown has just completely nosedived since going to the USA Network. And it's, I mean, even in the first few weeks, it was staying in the 1.7 million ballpark territory. But, ever since then, it's been a big decline.
No, it will be, and I tell you what, right, see another problem, see with 3 hours, we've seen it with Raw, and there was points this year we were preferring the 3-hour Raw over the 2-hour SmackDown, and as we've ranted on and debated a lot recently, SmackDown's going to get a lot of shit guys, guys that you didn't really care for, I mean, you factor that all together for a 3-hour show, man. I'll be honest. I am honestly scared about watching SmackDown in 2025. See, staying up and watching SmackDown, it's bad enough 2 hours. See, 3 hours, that is a game breaker. Nobody wants
You know
to
what?
ruin their Saturday, man, by watching this on the Friday.
I don't think any of the shows should be 3 hours, but I mean, if you're going to have a show be 3 hours, it's got to be your best show.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe when SmackDown was on Fox and SmackDown was actually so much better than Raw around like 2021, 2022, maybe around that period they should have maybe switched it, put Raw down to 2. And I know that's hard to do because one's USA Network and one's Fox, but if you're going to have one show be 3 hours, it needs to be the better show. And I believe that Netflix will be the better show going forward. That's a show with all the stars on it. That's a show with the guys that we want to see. But SmackDown's also going to 3 hours, and we know that they're getting the B-plus players. We know that they're putting the guys that aren't as good, let's be honest, on SmackDown. The American maids of the world are going to SmackDown. And with a 3-hour show with those guys, you know, it's just 8-minute matches are going to turn into 12-minute matches.
If they've any
10-minute promos are going to turn into 12-minute promos.
If they've any sense, though, Raw...
No, but you know what I mean? Like a 40-second clip of Johnny Gargano arriving at the arena is going to turn into a minute 20-second.
You know what they need to do, though, right? See Netflix, the Raw show? That needs to be the show with your sports entertainers of this world, and it needs to focus on that. See SmackDown? You know what? You may as well just dedicate the 3 hours to wrestling, because they're all going to be boring bastards anyway.
Yeah, why not do that and we can just watch Raw?
Yeah, no, honestly. But not the problem. They're not going to do that, man. Yeah, see, we've spoken about it 100 times. Netflix might have a great opening show, but see, after a few weeks and months, it's going to feel like SmackDown. It is.
No.
And then what you got to factor in as well, see when the SmackDown ratings go off a cliff, because by the way, folks, they will, then what are they going to do? Does that mean people on Raw are going to have to come over to SmackDown in order to boost the ratings? But then you look at who boosts ratings these days, man. There's nobody.
Yeah, I mean, SmackDown ratings probably averaging around about the 1.4 million mark, I would say, since moving to USA. You add in that third hour, I'm imagining that third hour will drag it down. I mean, and they're going to be taking the big start. The people that are drawing currently on SmackDown, we do expect them to go to Raw. You know, we could see SmackDown dip under 1 million in 2025.
Yeah, I said this.
It's not going to
happen.
It's not going to happen in the first half because you've got the build to Mania. But I reckon summertime.
Come on, everybody! It's summertime.
You know, I reckon when we get to about like July, June, August.
Yep.
September, I reckon we could see SmackDown. If it is ever going to dip, that's when it's going to be.
One of those taped shows before the Saudi show. You bet your fucking bottom dollar that's the SmackDown will go under 1 mil.
So SmackDown, just since the debut show, so not including the debut show on USA Network, they've had one episode of SmackDown that was higher than 1.6 mil. Every other one's been lower.
Like, that's crazy, isn't it? But it was to be expected though when you look at the USA Network and this SmackDown. Like when the big rating return, I say big loosely, with that cage match with Solo and Cody Rhodes, we knew when it did that rating. It's like, well, what's this going to do when you don't have those sort of matches every week? And the proof's in the pudding here. Like it's just consistently getting worse.
Second SmackDown in April did over 2.6 mil, and then we had that SmackDown about 6 weeks ago that did 1.2 mil. So do the maths.
Yeah.
You know, that's them lost
more than half
in the space of 7 months?
Yeah, and that can't all be down to a TV deal, you know what I mean?
No. Even the final SmackDown before they moved to the final SmackDown on Fox only did like a 1.7.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it was dying way before.
You know, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, let's move on to a different shot. Well, actually, we'll check the clips. Let's see what happened on the clips.
I can't get enough of the clips.
Anything interesting? Full segment, Kevin Owens smashes Cody Rhodes' injured neck, 979,000. Second place, 740,000. Bloodline brutalised Braun Strowman and Sami Zayn. Third place, Braun Strowman annihilates Austin Theory. Fourth place, Bianca Belair, Naomi and Bayley prevail in 6 women's tag match. Fifth place, Michin crashes Chelsea Green's championship celebration. 6th place, the Street Profits make a statement against Los Garza. I mean, that seems like a wee faction that Pentagon Dark could just walk into. And in last place, 7th place, Sami Zayn faces Carmelo Hayes in a thriller. 170k. Right. Let's just be honest, man. Carmelo Hayes, his run on Smackdown, his run on the main roster hasn't really worked. People think that Sami Zayn's a draw. People think that Sami Zayn is a main level world champion level-esque wrestler. He's just fucking not.
No, he's not. He really ain't, and this rating right here proves it, man. But I mean,
there's a guy on Raw that's down in that area. So I mean,
there's a lot of guys down in that area. But Carmelo Hayes, man, what happened to him? Just left to die by Triple H.
I think that best of 7 series killed him.
I think it's sabotage.
I think that best of 7 series fucked him over. Because I have no interest in the guy.
No, it's you put anyone in the best of 7 series, man, they'll suffer from it.
But see if you're going to do a best of 7 series, I think you need to do it 7 weeks in a row. Get it over and done with as quick as possible. Triple H didn't do that, man. He spaced it out, but in the weeks that they didn't have it, they still had Carmelo and Andrade interact backstage.
See, in the Attitude Era, man, if they did it, they would have done it would have been done in 3 weeks.
They dragged it over 4 fucking months,
It would have been done in 3 weeks, and every match would have had a different stipulation.
Nah, sure, you're booking it right. You're going to have one match on this Nitro here, then another match on the taped Thunder.
Yeah.
But if he pulls out of the Thunder, then we need to rewrite the Nitro. I mean,
doesn't work for me, brother.
Anyway, let's get into Raw here and see what they are doing. So Raw, December 30th, 8 o'clock to 10 p.m. Last 2-hour Raw, and the last Raw before going to Netflix did a 1.596 million. So Raw there, higher than SmackDown. You could argue it's on a better night for people sitting home watching TV, but it's also up against Monday Night Football. And Monday Night Football averaged 22 mil.
Which is a lot of viewers.
It is. But that shows you that people are watching. That shows you that there's people on a Monday night sitting in the house watching TV. They're just not watching wrestling because it's shit.
I tell you what, 22 million's fucking one of the highest I've seen for American football.
Yeah, Super Bowl, man, smokes that.
Yeah. Is it on a Monday, mate?
I think the Super Bowl's always on a Sunday, but here.
Yeah, that's my point. I'm talking about when we've done these ratings. I know the Super Bowl does 50 million or whatever, but 22 million for a throwaway match between who? The Lions and the 49ers? I say throwaway, one of them could have been in the ball game.
Well, I mean, that does include the pre-game show as well. So, because the pre-game show came in at number 2. It's not. That's just basically it's like, I guess it's like the WrestleMania pre-show with the panels talking.
Yeah, I know, but if Raw whipped out a preview show, the preview show's not getting 20 million.
No, it would not.
Just
so
buying it.
Raw is up 10%. Last week it did a 1.453 million. So this week you're almost 150,000 up, which is pretty good. The key demo was a 0.53. Last week was a 0.42. So Raw is up 26% in the key demo. So decent numbers there for Raw. Do you think this was people tuning in just to? Do you think the hype? People just wanted to see the last Raw on the USA Network.
We said this. We said
maybe believing that they would do something big. Maybe people thought what you thought. Here, maybe we'll get a big surprise at the end of this Raw, leading into Netflix. I didn't think that was going to happen, but
yeah, well, I said it should happen. It didn't happen. I mean, you did get a good ending with Punk and Rollins, but I mean, come on, look how much you had to sit through to get to it. Yeah. So except it's not good enough at the end of the day, folks.
No, I mean, it's not good enough. Raw though, I mean, Raw's been pretty consistent, hasn't it? I mean, you look at the ratings compared from 2023 to 2024, it is down a small amount, a very small amount.
But it's still down.
Yeah, I mean, it's still down, but I mean, it's not doing that bad. I mean, Raw, I'd say it's up a little bit, and that's especially in the fit. You can just see when Monday night, you can see when American football starts, can't you? You can just see the drop off.
September.
September. But I think that Raw is slightly better in the ratings because of the 3-hour show. Because consistently before Raw went to 2 hours, you can see that 2003 was doing better. 2023 was doing better than 2024.
2003 was doing better. I can fucking
So,
guarantee it.
last year was doing better than this year, but then when you get to September and then Raw switched to a 2-hour show, you're seeing this year's Raw during the Monday Night Football period actually outperforming 2023. And I think that's purely because you've not got that third hour. And you think about it, that third hour would overlap with like the final quarter of the NFL game.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, if there's a close game in the NFL going into the final quarter and one touchdown's deciding the game, are people going to be watching that, or are they going to be sitting through
American made.
Aye, to try and get a, if you're lucky, maybe get a Finn Balor main event. I mean, come on.
First and goal.
So I mean, it makes sense. Raw ratings there slightly up, but I mean, not a massive difference. But I think that, well, obviously we won't know, but I mean, could you imagine if they stayed on the USA Network and they had Cena and Rock come back?
Why? Fuck aye, the rating would have been massive.
You're not going to be able to compare it because obviously they're going to Netflix, but I think with the effort that they put in to Raw, at least for the short meantime, I think we'll see an increase. Looking at the numbers though for the clips, most viewed was Jey Uso says the New Day sucks, 599,000. Second place, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan set the scene for Raw on the Netflix premiere.
Where's CM Punk?
500. Well, I mean, again, they've not. This WrestleNomics don't include CM Punk, but
He clearly doesn't like Punk because he left AEW because he's wee.
Yeah, well, we will go through these ones and then we'll see what CM Punk did. Third place, Sheamus returns to ruin Ludwig Kaiser's moment, 458,000. Fourth place, Karrion Kross refuses to let The Miz walk away, 412,000. Fifth place, Damian Priest and the War Raiders versus the Judgment Day, 409,000. Sixth place, 347,000. Drew McIntyre clobbers Jey with a Claymore. And in last place, 7th place, 284,000. The Judgment Day are ready for 2025. So that is the YouTube videos according to WrestleNomics, but he's not included Punk and Rollins in there. And what did Punk and Rollins get?
1.1 million.
So there you go, much better than what we're seeing here.
Why doesn't he include it though? He never includes Punk. Never includes CM Punk. I mean, and I can't turn around and say, well, maybe he's like, oh, Punk's too good to base him off everyone else, because he always puts in the bloodline stuff, so don't understand it for the life of me. But, I mean, Punk will draw. I mean, it was a good segment. You know what? Was it the best segment of the week? Probably. Just not, I like Jeff Jarrett's as well.
Jeff Jarrett's is pretty good.
And people burying Jeff Jarrett, man.
Fuck JD from New York. How about that? How about those apples? I'd spit in his face because he's no cool. Anyway, moving on. You got something to say there?
He's a fucking loser. That's what I've got to say.
That's it. Moving on then. And finally, let's just wrap up here quickly, guys. Not going to go into too much detail. WWE NXT did 626,000, which is down 13% from last week's 723,000. So, yeah, almost 100,000 down there. Not great. NXT, I think, has been so disappointing since going to CW. First couple of weeks, the ratings almost broke the 900k mark, and then since then, just seen a massive drop off, and it's not really recovered. It's just hovered around the 600,000 area. So, yeah, they were expecting 1 million on CW, not getting it.
Yeah, so NXT ratings, I mean, people whip out the chef hats, right? And it's like, they're nowhere near what they should be doing, but they're still beating AEW, so...
NXT's still down for the full year on last year, and that is with a move to CW for the final 3 months of the year.
Yeah. And you know what?
Which was supposed to get them considerably more ratings.
I can't say I'm surprised, right? And I'll actually defend Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, here on his wonky eye. You know why? Because NXT has lost a lot of people, and they haven't replaced them.
Yeah, because you think about it, the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2023, that's 2 years.
Yep.
The NXT roster looked a hell of a lot different 2 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, guys like that, and
We're probably better off staying in NXT.
But not the problem was, they stayed too long in NXT.
Probably.
In themselves, and then you've got a few other people that get called up, like women, like Lyle Falcaria. But again, there is a case to make that they stayed too long on NXT, but they've come out of the main roster and done nothing.
Done absolutely nothing.
People seem to think giving Braun Breaker a title fixes him.
Nah.
It hasn't. I mean, you fucking had him lose to Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and then you just look at the NXT videos views. We're not going to talk too much about this, but the highest viewed clip, man. Eddie Thorpe knocks out Trick Williams and Obafemi, 135,000. You know, it's hardly groundbreaking stuff there, is it?
No, I know, but I mean, it's pathetic ratings at the end of the day. Like,
Yeah, pathetic ratings.
I mean, how can Trick Williams, the world champion, be getting 34,000 views?
Not good.
No, it ain't good.
Not good at
And
all.
again, Trick Williams is a guy that he purposely got held back in NXT because there was guys like Braun Breaker and Carmel Hayes being held back. And now when he's been given the chance to shine, he's been purposely held back by literally because just by default. And it's like they've waited too long, and now he's had like 2 title reigns. It's just like fucking call the guy up, man. What are we waiting on?
Call him up. What are we waiting on? Well, we're not waiting any longer, guys. Going to end this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and we're looking forward to talking about all the new ratings in the brand new year of 2025. Till next time, though, peace.